The next morning, the sun returned, almost mocking. Adamma adjusted her tray of tomatoes and began her usual walk to the market. She didn't expect peace, but she hoped for silence. Then she heard the familiar hum of a car slowing behind her. It was him. The car door opened and Amobi stepped out, no sunglasses this time, just weary eyes and an old voice in a young man's mouth. Adamma, please. Just hear me out. She didn't stop walking. He followed her, gently. I was lonely, Adamma. I was in a strange place, no family, no friends. Chinelo was there. She helped me. She stopped abruptly and turned to face him. You think I wasn't lonely, Amobi? He froze. Her voice wasn't loud, but it cut like a fresh razor. You think I didn't cry myself to sleep sometimes? When your mother fell sick and your number didn't go through, who carried her to the hospital? Me. I know. You don't know anything, she snapped. You left me behind with a promise and a silence. I sold my future so you could chase yours. And when you made it, you looked at me, and saw only dust. Amobi's lips trembled. I was scared. I didn't know how to come back to you, after what I did. You weren't scared, Amobi. You were selfish. People were beginning to stop and watch. Traders, men, passers-by. But Adamma didn't care anymore. Shame had come and passed. What remained now was fire. You loved me when it was convenient. When I was helping. When I was useful. But when you saw a woman who could offer you status, connections, you forgot the girl who offered you her tomorrow. I'm sorry. She looked him up and down, his polished shoes, expensive wristwatch, and the guilt he couldn't scrub off. So am I. Then she turned and walked away, her head steady, her steps firm. And for the first time in a long time, Adamma did not cry. Adamma reached the market, but she wasn't really there. Her hands moved, arranging vegetables, but her head was still back on that road. When a young man pointed at a pile of peppers, she didn't hear him the first time. I said, how much for these? He repeated, louder. She startled, blinked, and blurted a price twice the usual amount. He frowned. Oh, Adamma, you want to cheat me. The words hit her like a slap. If you can't pay, go somewhere else, she snapped, louder than she meant to. Silence spread through the nearby stalls. The man raised his eyebrows and walked away, muttering under his breath. Mama Chica leaned over from her stall. Adamma, what happened? This isn't you. Adamma forced a shaky smile. I'm fine, she lied, returning to her vegetables. But her hands were trembling. Every rustle of footsteps behind her made her turn, half afraid it was him again. She hated that even after everything she said, part of her still wanted to hear his voice. For a while she couldn't concentrate at the market. Her mind replayed every word she had heard at Amobi that morning, and every look he had given in return. By midday, she packed up her tray and headed home, the weight in her chest heavier than the goods she carried. As she turned the corner into her street, her steps slowed. Amobi was leaning against her compound wall, arms folded, as if he'd been waiting for hours. The sun caught the edge of his face, but there was no warmth in it. Adamma adjusted the tray on her head and walked past him without a word, but before she could open the gate, his voice stopped her. Adamma, he said quietly, I didn't come to fight. I just want to make things right. She set the tray down by the wall and faced him, her expression unreadable. I know you hate me, he continued, but I want you to tell me how much you spent on me and my mother. I'll pay you back. For everything you think you did for me. Her lips twitched, not into a smile, but something sharper. You think this is about money, Amobi? She asked, her voice steady but cold. You think you can count the nights I went hungry? Or the hours I spent praying for your safety? Or the dignity I lost defending you to people who already knew the truth? He opened his mouth, but she stepped closer, cutting him off. You can't repay what you took. Because you didn't just take things, you took years from me. And there's no bank that lends those back. He shifted, looking away. I'm trying to do the honorable thing. No, she said. You're trying to buy your way out of the shame that follows you when you see me. But keep your money, Amobi. Spend it on your fiancé. Spend it on your mother. I've already paid for my lesson. And with that, she picked up her basket, pushed the gate open, and walked inside, the sound of the latch closing behind her louder than any insult she could have spoken. For a long moment, Amobi just stood there, staring at the closed gate. The sounds of the street carried on, hawkers calling, children laughing, but they felt far away. He ran a hand over his face, as if to wipe away the sting her words had left, but the sting was in his chest, not his skin. He had prepared for anger. He had prepared for insults. But he had not prepared for her indifference, the way she had looked through him like a man she once knew, not a man she still cared for. A gust of wind rattled the tin roof above the gate. For a moment, he almost called her name again. Almost. Instead, he turned and walked away, each step slower than the last. It wasn't until he reached the end of the street that he realized his hands were trembling. Amobi pushed the gate of his house open with his shoulder, his jaw set. His mother was sitting in the veranda, peeling groundnuts into a small bowl. She looked up quickly. You look upset. What happened? He dropped into the chair beside her. I saw Adamma today. Her hands stilled for a moment. That girl again. You couldn't just walk past. I spoke to her. I told her I wanted to give her something, to repay her for the time she helped me when I had nothing. She refused. His mother gave a short, dismissive laugh. Repay her? For what, exactly? Did she send you to school? Did she build a house for you? Buy you a car? My son, don't start feeling guilty over things that are not necessary. That girl has done nothing that I, your own mother, could not have done for you. Amobi leaned back, staring at the ground. It's not about necessity. I just don't want it to be said that I used her and left her with nothing. She can say whatever she wants, his mother said sharply. You're about to marry a good woman from a good family. Adamma should be thankful you even thought of her. He looked up, his voice calm but firm. Tomorrow, take her a check. 2 million. His mother blinked. 2 million. Yes, he said evenly. If she wants, she can tear it up. But no one will say I didn't try to do right by her. She gave a slow, reluctant nod. I give it to her. But she'll know it's not because she deserves it, it's because we are generous. That's fine, Amobi murmured. Just make sure she gets it.